just keep doing what they were doing. In Game 1, they banned away the Jace, the Rumble, and the Xayah. They already won Game 1. Why try to fix something that isn't broken? It is up to Misfits to try and change something up in the draft. Or maybe they just thought that it was an execution error, and maybe we see exactly the same stuff.
There's a lot to talk about here that's very important. I want to talk about something that's not, and it was ruined. Xayah banned away. I talked to Hansama and Ignar ahead of time. I said, guys, listen to me. If you play Xayah and Rakan together, if you're the first team to do it, the internet will make weird comics about you. And I think that's an aspirational goal for some people. However, Fnatic not going to let it happen. Kennen also going to be banned away on Misfits. They do not want to touch it. They do not want to see it again. They're going to mix it up already in the pick ban phase. And Fnatic, they say, hey, as you said earlier, Vedas, we won with it once before. Why not just rinse and repeat?
So this time around, the Lee Sin is up and available, so Misfits could go towards that option. I think that if they do want to put Alfari more on a carry in the top side, I think it would be better to have Max on a tank. We know that given the current meta, you can afford to have more tanks in the jungle. Like, Ivan is still a decent pick. Sejuani is playable. The teams are yet to bring it out. Gragas is still a very reliable champion. So I think the Misfits have options that they can look to play around if they want to put Alfari on a carry or a tank.
And it's interesting because once again we see the Varus coming out here for Misfits. Now it's not clear if this is a priority because they believe it to be a strong pick, or if it's just that it's a safe pick, that it's reliable in what is going to contribute to the team. But either way, it has remained a consistent factor here for Misfits. And now, the change in the pick ban phase, Lee Sin up, available, and it is going to go into the hands of Maxlore. If you wanted to compare this guy to Cacao, now is your chance to do so.
Oh, it certainly is, because remember that this is the champion that Cacao was well known for. It was the champion that he had a phenomenal regular season record on, and now the pressure will be put on as Fnatic. They just continue to repeat their draft.
Galio going to mix it up, though. I was about to say, it's like that scene in The Matrix. Like, we had the same groups for Summer Split that we did for Spring, basically. New teams. Then we have the same draft coming into Game 2. Felt like a lot of the same thing, but Misfits say no. Lee Sin, Galio going to be picked up here. Fiora immediately banned away. They don't want to give Soaz access to any of those counter matchups. Have to see what the next ban is going to be as well. What Fnatic deem necessary to take away. A little bit of a difference here in what the teams have opted for in their first pick phase.
So before they did ban away both the Ivan and Tahm Kench, I think they can continue with the Tahm Kench ban. He is a very good pick into the Thresh, and they could also look to either focus on just banning away other support champions, and given that they don't really have an advantage, I think it just makes more sense to just keep banning away those supports.
Syndra taken off the board. A lot of respect paid over to the potential blind pick available for Caps. Of course, they will have the luxury of last pick on the side of Misfits, so it makes the most sense to see a support locked in here. But maybe there's something that deserves more priority. The Taliyah is up. The Taliyah is available and is an option, as is the Orianna. Interestingly enough, Malzahar going to be the pick locked in here, despite, honestly, repeated nerfs.
Now, bear in mind, Ignar, during the regular season of Spring, had a 6-1 record on that Malzahar. He is good at the champion. He is what made him well known for being that kind of playmaker support, and it's something that he is definitely very comfortable on. So Misfits, perhaps they're saying, you know what, Fnatic, you play comfort, we'll do the same.
And then we talk about picks being very important. You've got an Elise, you've got a Thresh on the opposite side. Now you have a Malzahar and a Lee Sin to set up on the side of Misfits. Both teams can catch people out and take them down if it's an option, but keeping in the theme of potentially protect the Reckless.
Certain people alive, I feel like Fnatic have a trend. They had the Galio Game 1 for the damage reduction. Now they have Shen to just be this big, beefy shield.
It's interesting. It's just Fnatic doing their best double lift era CLG impression.
But it works, right? Like, the fascinating thing about it is you don't even feel like Reckless is the only threat on the team, especially given the performance of Caps in Game 1. He's got himself the Orianna. Very likely the Power of Evil going to go towards something like an Ahri. Maybe he goes for something a little bit riskier like the Echo, or he too could pick himself up the Taliyah and look to try and play more around the map.
Ooh, but Power of Evil, this is a statement right here. That is some confidence. Picking the Ahri into this matchup. He has faith in his ability to outplay, to potentially land those clutch charms in key moments. Keep this one going. Two very different team comps this time around. Well, Fnatic very similar in what they're trying to do, but different champions. And of course, Misfits, almost a complete mix-up here in terms of draft.
We wanted to see change from Misfits, and that's exactly what they've done. They've gotten themselves a 1-3-1 pick-style composition, which is very much about trying to catch targets out, especially Caps. He has decided to run the cleanse, which I think is very, very important into the Ahri matchup because of how quickly a champion like Orianna can get nuked down if that charm is able to land. Now, Ahri was a pick that Power of Evil regularly brought out during the regular season, so it is something that we have seen from him before. And when you think about engages, Ahri Galio is actually a great combo. We saw it during the international, the MSI play-ins rather, where the Ahri would just dive in, you think you can engage onto her, and then boom, a hero suddenly appears out of nowhere, and then you have everything that you need to turn it into a party in your favor. And
we saw in game one how crucial the flash taunts were for the Galio. Well, now there's plenty of teams that can flash, they can get into that backline, the Lee Sin, the Ahri, they can set this man up for success. And folks, if you believe in Misfits, if you think they can bring it to a 3-game series, hashtag MSF win. You've got faith in Fnatic. If you want to see them back on top, hashtag FNC win. Crowd is ready. Maxlor smiling on his face. Lee Sin in his hands. Alfari with a potential tank in the top lane to set him up for success. Confidence coming into game 2, and they're going to need it because Fnatic clearly just getting better and better since we last saw them. That guy agrees with me.
Yep, he does. Good on him. Now, meanwhile, in terms of the early level 1, Fnatic have this tendency to do some pretty cool stuff. We saw in game 1 the steal away of the Raptors to give Caps the early level 2. This time, I think Misfits should try and ward up for it so they don't fall for the same trap. Or alternatively, try and do the same play. Maybe force Broxah away from his Raptors, try and steal away some of that experience. You have a decent setup to enable you to try and do that. But right now it seems that things are pretty cool, pretty casual on the Rift very early on into the game.
Vedius, you made the mistake of getting really excited at level 4 last game, and I think you might need to calm
Did I?
down.
Is that what I did?
Yeah, I think any discerning ear would know that it was definitely your mistake and not mine. So we'll keep it calm.
Right.
It's the same as last game. We're waiting for level 6s. We're waiting for these ultimates to come online before we really start to see any kind of playmaking.
From Fnatic. But for Misfits, they can be a lot more proactive around the map very early on. Even though Power of Evil doesn't have his ultimate, he can group up with Maxlor and move into the enemy jungle to try and find these picks, get up some deep vision. And Maxlor being on this early jungler in the form of Lee Sin, remember that is what Kakao made a name for himself for here in Europe. He was renowned for getting these early plays and setting up Misfits for success in the early portion of the game. So can Maxlor maintain that legacy, or will he fly on his face?
And if there's any team we could rely on to snowball a lead, it was Misfits. These guys are mean once they can get it going in their favor. And Maxlor happy to use the Winds of War to start clearing out that Raptor camp. Similar story on the opposite side. No one's going to get any extra experience going into this mid lane.
I love that you said that Misfits are mean. Because in my head, they're just like, when they have an early game lead, they're like, you're stupid. You look ugly in that dress.
Do you just assume that anyone who's winning is just constantly BMing the opposite side? I feel like you're putting your solo queue problems. You're projecting a little bit, Vedius. We have to. These are professionals.
Of course,
they never BM.
Yeah, no, of course. So, in terms of early game, you can see that a bit of a push advantage being gained in the bottom lane, but because Soaz was able to get that trade advantage at level 1, he's got a bit of a push up in top. So, pretty standard what we're seeing so far, and it'll be interesting to see this Malzahar come back in, because one of the reasons as to why champions like Malzahar and Zyra have kind of fallen off in this meta is because of that bad boy shield that has been picked up by Reckless. It mitigates, or rather, when you have the Voidlings hitting you in the face, it constantly resets that ticking regeneration that you get from the shield, which means that you don't actually take anywhere near as much damage as you should, and the regeneration really helps mitigate a lot of that pressure as well. So that's one of the big reasons as to why we're seeing less of this Zyra Malz in the current match.
Basically gives you that 2 health per second, which is pretty crucial when you look at those small dots like the Deathfire touch, like the Void Wings hitting you, all those little things very much mitigated. But now Broxah,
he's back.
They talked about this problem on the desk. Alfari overextending. Looks like it could still be an issue. Justice Punch. Nice block out by Soaz. Double taunt coming in. But they already want to hit him. That's not what you need. They've got the power to keep diving this if they want to, but they're just going to back off.
That was a clutch flash from Alfari. He realized when the Taunt Flash was going to come out, was able to dodge it. But then, because on the Justice Punch, you always step backwards before you go forward, that allowed enough time for Soaz to get in the way and go, punch me, fool. And then,
I mean, he didn't really punch. It was kind of like brought his fist.
He kind of tripped up on his own fist, right? He like punched himself in the face.
The logistics of it aren't important, but it whiffed.
It whiffed.
Ooh, Caps. All right, we talked about this being a bit more of a skill matchup, but Vedius, Power's getting spanked in these trades. What's going on here?
So basically what happens in the early game is that Ari really struggles to win out on trades because Caps can always position his ball at the same level as the minion waves, but then he can stand behind the minion waves too, which means that the Foxfire and the Charm will not land, so the only trading tool that Power of Evil has is his Q, which is very difficult to land as well if Caps stays at max range. Whereas all Caps has to do is walk up, use his ball every time Power of Evil tries to farm, and then he's able to win out on a lot of these early trades. It's at level 6 that Caps really has to respect the all-in power of Evil, because that is where he has all this mobility that Caps can't keep up with.
Spoke a little bit too soon. Power of Evil runs in and then wins the trade immediately. Now may look to deny Caps' back, and Power has to be careful. Charm comes out, but Caps doesn't have enough mana to keep this wave pushing.
So just for context as well, remember that just to demonstrate how well Caps is playing, Power of Evil went back to base, teleported back in, and now he's at the same health bar that he was at, while Caps still hasn't even had an opportunity to go back. So now Jezis has joined, and it's going to alleviate some of the pressure so that Caps can finally go back to base. Caps, he had a fantastic game one. You just saw his scoreline on the screen, and he's doing it once again on this Orianna early on.
Happy to keep this going. And realistically, Ari, yeah, she's always got that threat onto a single target. She can just rip through anyone who gets in her way. But Orianna, Shockwaves can win entire team fights if we go late into the game. So to have an advantage this early is a pretty good sign. But on the opposite side for Misfits, despite the range advantage Malzahar should give them, still losing out a little bit here on the bottom side of the map, just barely evening up the CS, and Reckless keeping it interesting. Got the boots too, once again.
Yep, once again, and look at that lost chapter picked up for Caps. That is immense in this matchup especially, because both mid laners are so mana dependent. It contributes so much to their ability to trade in lane. Caps should be able to get that early level 6 as well. It just goes back to how well he has been playing this early game. And also, look at all the control wards. That is so much early envision being invested from Fnatic to avoid any of these early game plays that Maxwell might try to look for.
And look at all the mid lane pressure. Misfits roaming up to mid lane. Fnatic roaming up to mid lane as well. It's clear we talked about Power of Evil being a big factor. Fnatic are aware. Both teams happy to fight for control of that mid lane. But now it may mean control of the bot. Flash forward, play in. Hansama's in trouble. Exhaust goes down. Where's the backup? CC ticking down on that side. Charge goes in. Leap forward from Reckless. Has to be careful, but there's the Shen ultimate. Perfect timing on the first blood. Maxlor's in no man's land. He's going to drop. Power of Evil flashing forward. He wants to get something back. Alfari is here as well. Taunt connects onto 2. Power still alive, but there is no mana in that bag. Bam! Ignar going to drop as well. Triple for Reckless, and that is a nice start for Fnatic.
You could not ask for a better way to begin game 2 than a triple kill on your superstar AD carry. Reckless with the Tristana, getting himself off to a fantastic start.
Talked about slow games at 7 minute last time. This is why, because Fnatic, when they go in, they go hard.
And again, why try to fix something that isn't broken? Jez is on this Thresh, just flashes in, knows that he can look to make the play. Maxwell was not in a position to try and assist his team because he was doing the Grom. He was super low health. He'd already taken the damage. Alfari's TP was way too far away, and Fnatic, the collapse was just too quick. Level 6 on Soaz, the repel from Broxah. Everything came together, and Fnatic with a 2,000 gold lead 7 minutes into the game.
And Power of Evil No Lost Chapter meant no mana in that fight. He could not do anything. Alfari leaps in, tries to taunt Reckless. Reckless just leaps out and says, I'll go kill Ignar.
And it's all about that level 4 power spike that we were talking about last game, right? Fnatic, they saw it, they went for it immediately.
I think it was the Shen level 6.
I mean, maybe,
bear with
but...
me.
Regardless, Jezis, he's now looking for an opportunity to see if he can punish Power of Evil, who has no flash or ulti in the middle lane.
Whew. This is a rough life for Misfits. We said we wanted more in the early game. Not the fans didn't all agree. A lot of the fans in favor of Fnatic, and I think that's definitely fair. Long-standing org, have to be excited for them, and after that game 1, maybe fair to be skeptical. But we knew Misfits had the potential to come back, but this time, Fnatic are playing even better. We saw H2K stumble in their first game. They talked about it. Maybe last game was Fnatic stumbling, and this is the dominance we should expect.
So now Misfits, they're making the rotation up to the top lane. So he still has his flash, but I don't know if he expects this collapse from Misfits.
Well, Hansama walking out of the bush. No ultimate available makes this a little bit awkward. Fnatic are to know about this well ahead of time, and they also have a pretty big wave building on the bottom side. It'll be a race for that tower first blood. Maxlor's here. So as not going to be able to approach the tower comfortably. Caps charged up, locked under tower, but does use the cleanse to safety, trying to walk, trying to sidestep. Power of Evil not going to connect on the Orb of Deception.
That is so unlucky for Power of Evil. If he had landed that Q, that would have been a solo kill. He realized the moment that he missed it, that if he overcommitted any more, that actually could have resulted in his death because Cap still had its ultimate
And once again, no lost chapter still means Power of Evil does not have the mana to keep this wave cleared and also stay safe. Fnatic looking to take down 2 towers, doubling down on this tower exchange, but the rest of Misfits are coming in to make sure that doesn't happen. But once again, where's Reckless, Vedius? Where's Reckless?
He's in the bottom lane. He's split pushing. He's doing what Reckless does. He's going to go back to base, likely working towards an early Blade of the Ruin King. I feel like his build path is, what would you say? How would you describe his build path, Dracos?
Why don't we play a game?
Play a game?
Play a game.
Yeah, let's play a game.
So, for those wonderful people out there watching the stream who remember Quick Shot Bingo, let's play Fnatic Bingo.
I
want you to take one square somewhere on this imaginary board. Let's say Reckless Blade of the Ruin King. Let's say Reckless boots 2. Let's say Reckless in a side lane. Let's see Fnatic plays around Reckless. And let's say, well, for this one, Fnatic wins the game. Last game, at least.
So far, anyone that may have all of those things on their bingo card are definitely in a good position.
And you do, because they do the same thing every game. And the thing is so often we see a team with one style get punished. A while ago it was Splice. They said 1-3-1 every game. Teams figured out how to deal with it. Fnatic, no one's figured out how to deal with it.
How can we make Reckless a bad player? That's the true tactic to being able to beat Fnatic.
He's already playing what should be B tier 80 carries. He's already building weird stuff. Like, how do we nerf Reckless?
Well, for the time being, Misfits, they're still trying to figure it out as they group up as a 3-man unit to put pressure onto this tier 1 in the bottom lane.
And I like this from Misfits. They look a lot more confident to continue making these plays, to continue trying to accelerate the pace of the game. Yes, they may be down about 3K gold, but they're still making things happen on the map. They say, we don't want to fight you, Fnatic. We'll just avoid you around the map.
I think this is basically Misfits saying, you know what? Reckless just got a triple kill. I don't think we can 2v2 them anymore, so let's just cut our losses and get what we can across the map. They're continuing their push down the bottom lane. Maxwell's just picked himself up the Drake, but that is going to be a cost of a Rift Herald as well. So now you have Broxik, who can just move up to the top as Soaz gets started.
The ultimate coming out. Soaz is in trouble. Kick back into the team means he's not going to get a chance to respond. Not even going to get the kill back as the heal comes out from Hans Sama. But the Rift Herald has now been summoned, and that's right in the mid lane. That means as much as Misfits may get from this, Fnatic are going to look to take double. Hey, look at Caps' little friend there. Pop goes the tower.
The thing is, Ahri really sucks at being able to kill this as well. Now, all Reckless has to do is transition over, and sure, they might lose an inhibitor tower, but they're going to lose so many structures that give Fnatic a lot of control around the map.
Another tower taken down. Rift Herald's going to charge another structure with half health left. That means still a decent amount of damage to come out. Just now starting their back timers. They have a Tristana, they have a Rift Herald. Fnatic are going to break open the base. They've taken so many towers, and now they're going to get Power of Evil. Beautiful entrance from Alphari, but too little, too late here.
Most successful Rift Herald of the split. 3 towers in a row. Most optimal way to use it. It will result in 3 towers being lost to Fnatic in the bottom lane, but I think they're happy with this because, sure, you do have an exposed Nexus, but given the amount of control that you've gained over the entire map and exposing a mid lane Nexus yourself, I feel like Fnatic are just saying, all right, cool.
In order to... They lost towers in that exchange. They went further down in gold, now at a 4K deficit. This just feels like Misfits... I just praise them for pulling the trigger, for making an aggressive move of their own, but this was not the right move for the team.
No, but Misfits, they just did what they felt was best, right? Like, if they try to back up, the likelihood is they're going to lose these towers anyway because of the wave that Reckless had. They guaranteed that they were going to lose the Rift Herald too, so they just had to get the best out of a bad situation. The problem is, the situation is now really bad. 4,000 gold deficit at almost 13 minutes into the game, with a pick composition where you want to be playing 1-3-1, but you can't really send anyone off to a side lane because your Ahri doesn't even have Umbrella Nomicon yet. Alphari, he hasn't even completed his first major item. There are a lot of deficits that Misfits are sitting under, and it makes it very difficult for their composition to be played the way they want it.
And luckily the itemization is even for now, but how much, in the bottom lane at least, but how much longer is it going to remain that way? You can see 1,500, the gold difference between the two 80 carries. That's an extra Zeal, extra couple of daggers as well. Runan's very quickly approaching for Reckless, making it all that much easier for him to continue pressuring, for him to continue pushing down a side lane and threatening these towers that are quickly running out for Misfits.
A lot of pings coming towards the bottom lane. The game is very likely to slow down a little bit right now, largely because the next set of towers for Fnatic to start sieging onto can be better protected by Misfits, and with the Rift Herald gone, you don't have that same sort of sieging tool. So Fnatic, they're just going to have to wait. They're going to invest in a lot of deep vision, likely looking to find picks.
Oh, miss out. Power reveal, quick reactions there.
Caps, he wants blood.
Caps always wants blood.
Yeah, he needs blood for the robot armor of Orianna.
That's pretty grim. Probably fair for that skin. Now the tower looking like it may just break. Power reveal getting caught sets them up, but they don't have the wave clear quite yet. Or rather, the damage to take down that tower. Another creep wave approaching quickly. Will this be enough to break it? Are Misfits going to contest here? Shen still pushing on the top side, has Stand United, has the teleport. Misfits is going to give it up, and the map continues to shrink. Vedius, and we talked about this. When we looked at pick ban, we said 1-3-1 for Misfits. They have the setup necessary. Is that even possible anymore?
It is. They just need to hit their power spikes much faster, like now. I mean, if they buy enough time, then sure. But for me, the big criticism is, again, where was Maxlor? Like, a lot of investment was given from Fnatic to try and get deep vision, but now they're going to try and punish him once again.
Cocoon misses. That's going to make it pretty difficult to make anything else happen. Flash forward for Soaz, drags the blade with him, trying to get the slows down onto Ignar as he runs for his life. Oh, we call that the dunk. All too easy.
Two members of Misfits sucked into the void of Caps. They're now in a poised position to move towards that inhibitor, and Fnatic can just take whatever they want.
And you just line them up, you knock them down. Ball attached to Soaz. He doesn't even need the taunt. Caps will provide the CEC. Caps will speed him up. Soaz crushing this top lane matchup. 1-1 for the scoreline. 122-86. As we look at it again, Cocoon can miss.
Yeah, it's fine.
Taunt can miss. It does not matter.
Watch what happens here. Soaz uses his Q to be able to proc the passive, and he still has the ball on him, and Misfits don't even realize. They get popped so fast. It just results in a very easy double kill going in favor of Fnatic. Now, I just want to quickly check what objective they actually get off the back of that. They really didn't choose to pursue it any further. They just got a bit of deep vision down. You can see the trifecta of wards in the top side of Misfits jungle, and they're setting up for the back. We'll be spawning in about 4 minutes' time. That is the big objective for them once again, is Power of Evil trying to just get something back.
Power of Evil poking down on a Soaz. Soaz hitting back hard here. Multiple members committing onto Soaz. He is going to go down in the end. That's a nice pickup for Misfits. Will relieve some of the pressure, but still, just a little prize in the scheme of things.
Someone is happy.
I don't know if that's a Misfits. I will take that as a Misfits fan. Go you, Misfits fan.
Or he just really doesn't like Soaz. that's the alternative.
I mean, that's a little rude, but you know, whatever makes you happy.
Meanwhile, whoever's playing Reckless Bingo, you've just lost, because he has just buried his build.
I hate to break it to you, but when I spoke earlier about Reckless's op.gg account, I guess that's okay. The only alternative is that sometimes he builds Phantom Dancer instead of Rune Hands.
Okay.
I read to mention it because it didn't seem important at the time. But yeah,
you set everyone up for the same Reckless Bingo.
No, you don't get the bingo point. I'm just saying this isn't unexpected.
Of course it's not unexpected. It's also very conventional in the current meta. Like, the damage reduction is extremely valuable, especially when you're playing against a pick composition. The risk is very high. Now, Misfits, they set up towards the dragon. Fnatic, they want to answer.
This is the potential power of Malzahar. Voidling's making this pretty easy, but Soaz double taunt on the backside, going to block out any auto attacks. They leap immediately in onto him, but there is no response from Fnatic. Soaz all alone, all by himself, overstays his welcome, and now Power, he's hungry for a little bit more, has the red buff, he can slow him down, leaps back onto Caps, but he's going to miss the charm. Lantern's going to keep him safe, backing off as Maxlor takes the dragon, hook connects, Power drops, easy pickup for them. Now Misfits still trying to hold on, still trying to get a little bit more, but my God, look at the picture in picture. Reckless just keeps coming, just keeps dishing out the damage. Misfits, yeah, they may win the fight, but it's because they have the man advantage, and still, they're losing out. Ignar! Absolutely deleted. Reckless just going to walk forward, has the rocket jump as well, doesn't even need a kill. Nice of you to show up.
Things started to look so bad for Fnatic after losing Soaz, after no one followed him up on that initiation. You think Misfits, they're going to get the dragon, they're going to win the fight. But then 3 versus 5, Fnatic find a way. All the while, Reckless split pushing up in the top lane, getting himself the solo tower, and continuing the advantage of Fnatic in this game.
Mid lane, so much pressure streaming in. 2 open inhibitors now. Not even 20 minutes into the game.
Oh, yeah, we're not... Oh, wow, okay. I thought we were much later into the game.
The theme of today is casters have no idea what the game time is.
Concept of time, not relevant.
Not late game, as it turns out, but Fnatic are very quickly getting to that point.
Yeah, so have a look. This was a good taunt from Soaz, but there just was no reliable follow-up because of the ultimate that came out from Han Summer that rooted up a lot of the members of Fnatic. And you think, okay, this is the point. Paraveople, who wants to land a charm, misses everything. Isn't quite able to get onto the target that he wants. They're forced to disengage. Maxwell's very low. Now watch Jez's. Lands a great hook onto the Ahri, instantly dead. But you think, oh, she's used all of her abilities. She's not even that much damage anyway. So Han Summer can still turn it around. Nope. Caps has his flash. Han Summer also ends up getting super low thanks to a great shockwave from Caps, and then it's just constant kiting backwards from Fnatic, buying time for Reckless to join the fray and go, oh, you guys have killed everyone. Okay. Maybe I should have stayed up top. But anyway, Fnatic still get everything that they want.
And really, when we look at it, we knew Reckless would be a huge part of this team. We knew the team could play around him. But Caps, Broxa, Jezis, all showing up in a way that I don't know if we expected it. Jezis! He gets another one. Gonna knock him down. Reckless on a rampage. Let's see where he wants to go to. Jump is available. Are we going to see the rocket jump reset? Sonic Wave not going to connect. Maxwell does kick him into Reckless. Charm goes in. Alfari trying to taunt as many members as he can to keep himself alive, but Reckless does so much damage. All the focus onto Soaz. 2 members pop back in. Taunt the chain CC. Keep going. Get the resets. Leap in. Reckless. Not even living up to his name. He makes it look too easy.
Another triple kill for the Fnatic AD carry, as Fnatic looking so convincing, so dominant coming into the new summer split. They're going to take this series 2-0, and they are going to do it in style.
20 minutes, folks. 30 seconds, triple inhib down. And Vedius.
They baited me. They're not going to end the game.
No, they're doing it in style. They say, we've won. We're going to take our time. We're going to remind people who Fnatic is, what we're about. And right now it looks like stylish kills, dominating victory, and weird picks for Reckless.
And padding out that KDA just a little bit more. I mean, the fact that Soaz, good guy Soaz, taking all of the deaths for his team.
Okay, keep in mind, fastest game this year is 23.5 minutes. So Fnatic,
go Fnatic, go!
Have to choose between asserting dominance via very slowly ending this game and breaking records.
So let's have a look. This actually started off with a fantastic hook from Jez's on Han Summer, losing one of the primary damage dealers, and then Misfits do what they can to turn it around, but they have to focus on Soaz, who was just so tanky. He does end up dropping, but at that point, all of the members are dead.
They burn everything, and he still manages to taunt 2 members before going down, lining up everything for the kills to follow. 46.3 to 33.6. Nice escape from Alfari. He's going to drag that bomb back into his team, helping pad the Reckless damage numbers a little bit more. And at this point, I think we have to say, Misfits looking a little lost, looking a little scattered. Maybe this is what we can expect since they're adapting to a new member.
But also fantastic play overall from Fnatic. It looks like their priority is not on getting the fastest game of EU LCS this year.
They have a minute and a half.
Yes. But their focus is playing around good Baron. See, they're working on their Baron control. They realized, look, a Baron wasn't good enough. We need a deep vision before. Then we can play around the big purple word.
I mean, we gotta say it. We like it. It doesn't have to be stylish. If you want to be the best team in Europe, it's really not about style. It's about consistency. It's about, well, also a little bit of style. We did see Perks at MSI side stuff like a million things and kill Faker a couple times.
My only issue with it is, while the theory is great, when you have a 13,000 gold lead, even if they can't challenge.
22 minutes. It's 22 minutes, Vedius. We don't need to nitpick. Fnatic are crushing Misfits.
Very true. They certainly are.
And while there's a lot to work on for Misfits, we cannot praise Fnatic enough for this series so far. This is exactly the opening that Fnatic fans wanted to see, and they got it. Reckless is delivered. Jezis on this thresh is insane. I am surprised if this continues to make it through picks and bans. Broxa consistently having an impact in the early game. Soaz is Soaz. We know Soaz. He does stuff, and he makes stuff happen.
Yep, and now Fnatic, they're knocking on the final base towers as they go to 2-0 this series.
Moving forward, one final team fight, but it may just be a formality. Blade back, Ignar immediately going to get popped. Broxa moving forward. Reckless is doing Reckless things. Double kill drops for Soaz, so he too can pad out the KDA. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. 2-0 for Fnatic. Dominating first games.
And who do you highlight on this team, right? Sure, Reckless, he was considered a superstar, but there were so many great performances from Soaz to Broxah to Caps to Jez. Like, so many standout individuals.
I just want to go back to that first Shen play. Jez is landing clutch hooks. Reckless fiercely leaping forward, Soaz communicating that they can make an aggressive play like that. There's so many teams in Europe, in spring at least, that would have fumbled that execution. But not this team. And it was 23 minutes and 24 seconds. Now I'm going to have to get confirmation from our stats team that was the fastest game this year.
It was. It was, in fact, the fastest game of this year. And you can see the smiles on the faces of Fnatic. This is also the Reckless that fans wanted to see. This guy is happy. He's with his team, and this team are playing fantastic right at the start of the spring.
I'll be honest, I was skeptical, man. I was skeptical when he didn't go to Korea. I know mental health is important, but